And right now, our GMA June book club pick, The Vanishing Half. It's the book of the moment, debuting at the top of the New York Times bestseller list, selling out on Amazon. And Deb Roberts sat down with its author, Brit Bennett. Good morning, Deb.
Good morning, George. I got to tell you, Brit Bennett is no stranger to runaway success. Now, for the second time, she has written a novel that has shot through the stratosphere. Her newest is a timely look at race and family secrets that seems to touch a cultural nerve. She's the young writer with a golden touch. Brit Bennett captivating critics and book lovers across the globe with her new novel, The Vanishing Half.
What do you think when you hear somebody describing a can't-miss event? Your book is something that people need to read.
It's, again, I keep saying surreal. That's the best way I could describe it. I've been really fortunate to have such a warm response to the book from critics and also from readers. And it's just been exciting to see people reading the book in the same way that I was writing it.
Our June book club pick telling the complex family story of twins Stella and Desiree, inseparable as children until one of them decides to pass as white.
It's all about race, identity, so many things. It almost seems like you came up with this in the last few weeks. Would you have had any idea that you would be touching a nerve in the country at this moment?
I've been working on this book for 4 or 5 years, and I did not imagine that when the book came out, it would be framed as being timely or being framed as like speaking to some type of a current conversation. But I also think that there's some escapism in the book that people seem to be responding to. It's a book about a lot of different journeys. It's a book about people going to a lot of different places. And it's also a book about characters trying to form these relationships and trying to love each other across distance and time.
Well, it's a very cool book, and the cover is Vanishing Half. And when I first heard you describe it, and you said twin sisters, one is black and one is white, I was like, how is that possible? And I delve into the book, and it's all about choices people are making. Is that something that intrigues you, choices?
I think so. I think that I'm always interested in how characters can make one choice that maybe seems small and has these large consequences. So a character in the book who decides to pass, it starts with a job interview, and it's kind of a small choice that she makes in the moment that ends up having these huge implications on her life.
Your book is set in this little community that is this thriving Black community, but it's based on people's skin color, like how light-skinned they are. Where did this concept come from?
It came from a conversation I had with my mom, where she was telling me about a town that she remembered hearing about when she was a child growing up in rural Louisiana. So I was always really interested in the idea of this place feeling kind of mythological to me.
With social distancing, Brit isn't greeting readers in person just yet, so we decided to create a surprise for two of her super fans virtually. Jamie and Paris thought they were joining us for a simple interview about their favorite author.
What is it about her work that speaks to you?
I love the way that she writes. I love the way that she incorporates a lot of different characters, and she does it really seamlessly.
Based on the synopsis itself, I was invested in Stella and Desiree's story alone. But then when we got Jude and Reese and Early, I was really just taken aback. I was like, wow, this is incredible how she's weaving in everyone's stories.
I think, Jamie, if you could actually talk to her, what would you want to ask her?
I know she covered a lot of things about race and colorism in the book.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry, but it would be so cool if you could talk to her. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Absolutely.
That would be great.
All right, but guess what? Here's Brit.
Oh, guys. Hey.
Hey, Brit.
Hi, guys.
Oh, my God.
It actually worked. She's here.
Oh, my God.
Hi.
That's so awesome.
Why was it important for you to incorporate colorism particularly in this book?
The first thing that really drew me to this book was the idea of this town of Black people that were organizing themselves only around light skin and sort of positioned between white people and also between other darker skinned Black people. What does it mean to exist outside of that? So what does it mean to be a dark skinned person within this community? What does that experience feel like? And when you've kind of grown up listening to this really toxic ideology about light skin being better, how do you shake that as you get older?
This has been such a fascinating discussion, and maybe one of these days we'll get to see Brit in person in a bookstore.
I hope so.
Meantime, it is Brit's 30th birthday today, so we cannot leave this discussion without toasting her. What a way to ring in your 30th.
Cheers.
Cheers. barely 30 years old and already being compared to Toni Morrison and James Baldwin and other literary stars. Brit Bennett, remember that name. You're going to hear it a lot in the future. You can hear more of my conversation with Brit on our GMA Book Club on Instagram. What a treat. Guys?
Oh, that was awesome. And then happy birthday, Brit. Happy 30th. And you can read an excerpt of The Vanishing Half on GoodMorningAmerica.com.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.